We've all seen it. Psalm 46:10 is on coffee mugs, fridge magnets, and half the Christian bookstore. It's a staple of modern devotion. It's become one of the most recognizable verses in the entire Bible. A ubiquitous mantra for peace in our chaotic, noisy world. But for many, it's also a verse that has been stripped of its original power and weight, reduced to a generic suggestion to relax. Today, I want to take a deep dive into what this verse actually means in its original Hebrew and historical context. It's not what you think. It's usually set against a sunset, a quiet forest, or a field of lavender. We read it as a soft, gentle whisper from God, a gentle invitation to slow down, take a deep breath, and just breathe. We use it as a permission slip to disengage from our stress. While peace is certainly a fruit of this verse, the command itself is far more aggressive and demanding than a simple deep breath. But here's the problem. That's a modern devotional misreading. The verse doesn't sit in a spa or a quiet garden. It's in a war psalm. The world is ending in the very first few verses of this text. It's a scene of absolute cosmic and political destruction. If you read the verses immediately preceding verse 10, you'll find a world that is fundamentally unstable and falling into chaos. Mountains are collapsing into the sea, nations are raging, kingdoms are toppling, and into that absolute chaos, God speaks. God says, "Be still," which is not a lullaby, it's a command to stand down. It is a divine order to disarm immediately. This is the voice of the sovereign over the storm. It's not a suggestion for self-care, it's a mandate for spiritual surrender. It's a command to stand down. It's an order to disarm. It is the command of a commander to a soldier who won't stop fighting a lost cause. It's a call to surrender. It is the command of a commander to a soldier who won't stop fighting a lost cause. It's an order to surrender your weapons. Until you drop your defenses and your autonomous efforts, you will never truly know the power of the one who broke the bow. To understand the weight of this command, we need to hear the psalm in its original context. Notice the noise here. I'm going to read Psalm 46 in full from the ESV. Pay close attention to the violence that precedes the stillness. Listen to the movement from refuge to raging nations, to the holy river, and finally to the God who makes wars cease. Notice how everything that feels solid is melting away. Notice the shift in energy when God finally speaks. Listen now to the word of the Lord for us today. May it strike our hearts with the weight of His sovereignty. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth gives way. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth gives way, though the mountains be moved into the heart of the sea. The very foundations of the physical world are being shaken. The mountains, symbols of stability, are falling. Though its waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble at its swelling, the sea is consuming the land. Though the mountains tremble at its swelling, Selah. But then, a sudden shift in the poem. There is a river. Though the mountains tremble at its swelling, Selah. But then, a sudden shift in the poem. There is a river. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy habitation of the Most High. Quiet power. In the city where God dwells, there is a source of joy and stability that the raging oceans of the world cannot touch. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God will help her when morning dawns. Stability in chaos. While the earth is giving way and the mountains are moving, the city of God stands firm because the King is inside. The nations rage, the kingdoms totter. He utters his voice, the earth melts. The Lord is with us. The kingdoms of this world are fragile. When the Almighty speaks, the very earth that seems so solid begins to melt. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress, Selah. Pause and reflect on this refuge. He is the Lord of armies, the God of the covenant, Our safety is in his character, not our circumstances. Come, behold the works of the Lord, how he has brought desolations on the earth. He makes wars cease. God is the one who ultimately brings an end to the destruction. He is the master of history and its resolution. He makes wars cease to the end of the earth. He breaks the bow and shatters the spear. He burns the chariots. He shatters the spear and burns the chariots with fire. The tools of human warfare are being destroyed by his power. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. I will be exalted in all the earth. The command to be still is the precursor to acknowledging his global reign. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Selah. Amen. And there it is. Section 1, the context. To understand verse 10, we have to grasp the chaos that precedes it. This is a war psalm. This is not a poem about a quiet garden or a retreat. It is a psalm of absolute cosmic and political upheaval. The ancient audience would have felt the weight of every word, the fear of collapsing borders and falling kings. It describes the world coming undone. The world as the ancients knew it, solid, stable, reliable, is literally melting. When the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, the Israelites saw the ultimate nightmare. Chaos was back. The sea in the ancient Near East was the symbol of chaos, of things God had tamed but that were now breaking loose. Scholars call this uncreation. The order established in Genesis is being reversed before our eyes in the text. The boundaries God set between land and sea are being breached. Primeval chaos is returning to reclaim the world. But in the midst of this uncreation, there is one point of stability, one thing that does not totter: God's presence. The nations are raging, the kingdoms are tottering. Everything that seems solid is proving to be incredibly fragile. This is the political and cosmic reality of the psalmist, a world that is fundamentally unstable and falling apart. When our own world totters our health, our security, our nations, we feel exactly what the psalmist felt: fragility. This brings us to section 2, the harpû word study. This Hebrew word is the key that unlocks the entire verse. It's not just a word for silence or meditation. It's a word for action, or rather, the sudden cessation of all action. To understand harpû, we have to stop thinking of it as a soft request and start thinking of it as an executive order. Harpû is the hifl form of the root rabia. It literally means to let go, to drop, to release, or to slacken. It is the command to slacken what has been held tight, to release the desperate tension in your own grip. It's the realization that your grip isn't what's holding the world together. It's actually what's keeping you from God. It's the command given to a soldier holding a sword. Drop it, slacken your grip, stand down, you're finished. God isn't saying be quiet and feel peaceful. He is saying drop your weapons, stop fighting the storm. The command is for the survivors of the war. It's a call to abandon the tools of your own autonomy and defense. The NASB renders it as cease striving. It's the cessation of your autonomous effort to save yourself. It is the total surrender of your attempt to control the outcome of your life. It's letting go of the reins.